Aloha, and welcome to another Candid Conversation. I've got with me today Troy Ottmer, who's had a varied experience in dealerships in various leadership executive positions, as well as being a technician. And he has left the corporate safety net and has gone into the world of consulting, has the skill set to be able to do that easily. What we want to talk about today is operational or departmental reviews and how that tool can be helpful to dealers. So with that as the introduction, Troy, good to see you. Welcome.
Hello again. Yes, once again. Yeah, good to be
without having you be the one to say it, what I'm going to say is that we've had a 10-year delay in generational or leadership of dealerships transfer. More owners are in their 70s than they're in their 50s.
True.
We've also had a real serious consolidation of dealers. And I'm going to say 50% have changed between now and the number of dealers today. If it was 140 years ago in 1985, it was 50 in 2005, it's 25 today.
Correct.
Third, most dealers are looking at sales revenue as being a measure of whether they're successful or not. And if they aren't having sales revenue equal to or greater than what they've experienced in the last 20 years, there's something wrong because they're competing with half as many people. And the illustration I'll use is Canada. There used to be 10 Caterpillar dealers. Today there's two. There used to be, I think it was 6 Komatsu dealers. Today there's 1. John Deere in the industrial, there's 1. I mean, all of this stuff is pretty nasty. So as a consultant coming in with that kind of landscape, how do you get the owner's attention?
It is, and I'm 5-6 months into the jumping out of the corporate safety net, as you called it, and really establishing, how I want to approach the business. And my approach is really more aligned with, hey, I'm still fresh from a dealer perspective. It's fresh on my mind, whether it's at the local level or if it's at the corporate level, and operationally looking at doing a dealer review. There's a lot of different things to talk about, and obviously you got sales, and then if you're rental oriented, then you have the rental aspect, and sales could be broken. I'll go back to that. Sales could be used sales and new sales. That's two different animals, two different inventory subsets, all the different variables that go with that. Then you jump over to parts and service, and I know you and I've had some other conversations where absorption is still a key component to running a dealer group. It does, as you said in one conversation, it does come with restraints that limit other things, but it's still a good KPI to reference. But there are other things, return on assets, I think, in one of the other podcast conversations we've had. And that actually has trickled into some conversations recently with a couple of other different dealer groups that I've had some conversations with. But for me, I'm thinking in the current state of things, and you referenced the last 10 years, in that last 10 years, we've had this thing, I don't know if you heard of it, called COVID, right? And that was a game changer, and that's 5 years ago now, right? And, and a lot of businesses have done very well simply because of the inflationary factors that come with it. There's been an uptick in supply chain. So, hey, now you can name the price you want for it. Customers don't have a method to negotiate because there's supply chain shortage or a perception of supply chain shortage. I think there was a little bit of that going around as well, globally and nationally. But for me, one of the things is I start having these conversations, and I'm going to approach it more from a departmental review standpoint. And I'll go any direction that the dealer principal feels they have pain point through some basic Q&A. But for parts department, for example, inventory, looking at your parts inventory, evaluating parts turns, obsolescence level, review fill rates, stock out occurrences, and you and I've had some detailed conversations on what you should stock and when you should stock it and why you should stock it, and a whole laundry list. And, similarly for the service department, analyzing labor rates, labor sales, what's your effective labor rate? Nobody talks about that one a whole lot. What is effective labor rate? What does that really look like, right? You have a $300 an hour door rate, but do you really know what your effective labor rate is at the end of the day? And a variety of different things.